17 first preliminary.
If you guys want to, it's up to you, but since the first preliminary I gave you guys, there's been all kinds of changes since we adopted or we're moving forward with the property tax and this discussion tonight on the manager's position. All those, I've made a ton of changes, so this first preliminary isn't going to do you a whole lot of good. I tried to send you guys an updated one earlier today, but there's already been changes on that. But the main thing I would like to get through tonight, and we invited the people that play here, is the Lodgers Tax Fund. So if you guys, unless you guys have any other questions, I'd like to try to start the talks on the Lodgers Fund, and then the next meeting I'll be able to have an updated and have a second one reprinted out to you guys and get a little bit closer the direction you guys are going with the manager and that kind of stuff. So, are there any questions?
I guess what I was talking about is tax, similar to what we did last year, right across the board, all three.
Correct. So what I have this year, next year's projected budget, we're only going to hit 120,000. So we budgeted last year 172,200, and these numbers are only through February. So I'm expecting them to bounce back a little bit because of the winter months are included in this. Talking with Kathleen, since we're taking over some special events, my bottom number that I'm trying to balance to is 120. So if I go down here to these expenses, if we try to break it up like we did last year, we're looking at about 28,000 even if we wanted to do all three. So I know in talking to that, the Fair Board Historical Society will be taking a pretty big cut. The chamber has already said that they want to back out of Wild West Days, and instead of hiring a full-time director, they want to go to a part-time director and get rid of the Christmas events. So Kathleen would have to take over those items. In talking with Yvonne, they're still asking for $31,240, which almost doesn't make sense if you're going, last year was $40,000, and we funded a full-time position and $10,000 for Wild West Days. So if you take 10 off of the 40, you're already at 30, and then you go from a full-time to a part-time. It seems like that number should be way less than 31,000. I was suggesting to try to get down to the $20,000 range for the chamber, and that would still allow us to put $20,000 in for Wild West Days and events for Kathleen. But that's cutting Kathleen way down too. So, you know, we're going to have to make some major cuts here somewhere, or cut somewhere else in the general fund if you guys choose directly to do that tonight. And we'll try to come up with the money somewhere. We've invited the Fair Board and Historical Society to come up and present their numbers if you guys would like to. Yvonne isn't here tonight, but we have, I think, was this all in their boxes?
No, it's on the dais.
Oh, the desk is Yvonne's proposed budget and what their numbers would come up to. If you guys would like to, I'd just like to invite the chamber and the historical society.
I would like to just say one thing before you start inviting everybody, because I know everybody, I would go through this every year. And the reason why the idea of split it 3 ways is because that way, last year everybody got the same. If everybody got the same again this year, everybody gets the same hit. And the reason why is that they were looking at dropping a lot of stuff is because of the major hit that they were advised that they were going to drop clear down to 20. So in a sense, I know already that everybody's there's gonna be a sore subject, so. In my opinion, I think to make it even, in my opinion, it would be the same cut all the way across, because that way it would be, if it's gonna be 25, 25, 25, or whatever, I don't see a problem with some of this stuff. You know, I don't believe that the user's tax or the rider's tax is gonna drop that much more. I think that I think Mr. Tester here thinks that, agrees that there's a lot of tourism, and I think that number will still stay high. Go ahead.
Well, just to comment on that, one of the same doesn't make any more sense to say it has to have the same as sanitation, which has to have the same as streets. They each have their own particular needs, and each have their own consequences of having less than the amount that they need. I think we need to look at each of them individually. They're just totally different organizations with different needs. And to say they all should be funded the same, just doesn't make sense to me.
And I understand, you know, because you're on the board and you have your ideas of what, so, I mean, we all have our pet projects, we all have our areas of desire. You're gonna want one thing, I'm gonna, I think that's the way we can come up with a consensus last year. Just everybody gets the same. They're all, in my opinion, gonna take a major hit. They all have a function in the community. To say that one is much better than the other, to say that one's not as good as the other, I think that we already know that the budget is going down in that area. I just have that, you know, everybody's got their pet peeve. I mean, I see everybody in here, I should say everybody, there's 3 of us in here, 4 of us in here, that have gonna have their, as the Vice Mayor said, it's a split council. And when you have people that are on the boards or family members and different people, you don't want to hurt anybody, so you might as well just do the same for everybody. That way one group doesn't feel chatty by the other.
Just one comment, I'm not implying that my integrity is such that I would look for one thing just because I'm on board. I'm on the board, and that,
I would imply that.
well, you know, I actually have a financial contribution I make every year, which maybe other people haven't. Much resent the fact that you think that my integrity is for sale here because I'm on the board.
Go back in.
I respect you to talk nonsense, so why not continue?
Okay, we know where CJ stands. I do have questions regarding projections or through February. Do you have any idea what our actuals are for March on Rogers?
I haven't. I just barely got the numbers in this week, so I haven't been able to look at it.
What was it last year for March?
For March, I couldn't tell you that.
So what's the actual through? It just says projections through
Yeah,
February.
it's just, the actual is only 69, and I'm projecting it to be 100.
So your actual from July 1 to right now is $69,000.
Through February, yeah.
That's hard to believe.
Is there any delayed payment from the state?
Yeah, as I was trying to discuss earlier, there are some delayed payments through the state. And what they're doing is because the state started a new forms, I guess you could say. There are some individuals that are having a hard time filling those out. And what the state is now doing is if they don't fill those out, they reject them and send their money back. So some of these numbers could be off on that, but until that catches up to it, you know, I can't tell you what the projections are true or not true. You know what I
That
mean?
one I don't understand either. It's easier now.
It's supposed to be easier,
It
but
is easier. I'm telling you, it's easier.
yeah, but
I think it is too, but
I mean,
we have people
I've had
come in
some
all the
customers
time
are
that need
just-
help.
They're having a hard time with it.
I think it's easier
And so
too, Wade.
some of the deductions on there, if they took one deduction before, and now that number of the deduction's different, then they'll reject it for that too. So I think if you're computer literate, it works, but some of these businesses still like the paper form, and forcing them to go to this new direction, where some customers are having a hard time with it.
So you're saying there's just a whole bunch of people out there haven't paid their sales tax all year long?
Well, I'm not necessarily saying that, but I'm saying they could be trying to pay and the state's rejecting them until they figure out their form correctly. So I've been, me and Pat, we've been kind of on an outreach a little bit. We've met with some customers, and if they've had any questions, then we've invited them in and helped them fill out their paperwork going forward. But some of those people have come in and said, you know, they keep on rejecting my money. They keep on rejecting my money. And it's because something, some kind of deduction or something on that form is not right. And the state will reject it and reject the money. So these numbers could be low, but you know, I don't know. I don't want to project too much until we know for sure. And hopefully they read that. But I think the big thing would be just kind of a direction for you guys on how we want to split this, and if the numbers rebound, then we can make those calculations as we get closer.
So the 15-16 lodger's tax, is that an accurate number, 117,106?
The 177, you mean?
I don't see no 177. I'm looking at your paperwork that you sent me.
15-16 budget, I have 177.
15-16 budget. I have 165,000.
Yeah, I've got one maybe back there.
See, that's different stuff.
Well, I asked you for this later today, so you should probably.
I got you emailed this to me today. Oh, I see.
It is 165 and 12 grand for events.
I'm not here for you.
So we're short 56,200 from last year.
Yeah, so
Oh, did we actually get
March,
that
April,
$4,000?
May, June. We still have 4 months.
well, this one, that 4,000 is an increase because I'm increasing it from 6 to 10 because Kathleen's taking over Wild West Days, and there's going to be some vendor revenues from Wild West Days, so that's why I was planning on increasing that. And we may just have to go extremely dirt cheap on Wild West Days. I think Kathleen does a good job on events with very little money. So, to spend $10,000 on the Wild West days, definitely don't spend that on any event, probably the whole year combined.
The only reason I'm concerned about your numbers just going through February is that snowbird season starts about the middle of March, and I guarantee you that's a big chunk of money, and unless you went and looked at last March, I mean, you could, if we're down 20% for the year, you could go look at last March and maybe do down 20% there and come up with some realistic projections instead of just this. Instead of projections through February, when you should have actuals through February.
Yeah, I do have actuary through February, 69,000.
And that's actual,
That's actual through February.
and that includes that $640.
Yeah.
So what did we budget the $6,000 for?
Those were all Kathleen's events. Route 66 Club. Oh, marathon.
Those special event revenues, we budgeted special event revenues $6,000. Did that not happen?
No, it did. As we were saying, the marathon bought that much.
No, because it says we budgeted $6,000, but the actual is $640.
Well, actually, we did, we did it. Never mind. I actually run to a second party. I actually went with subcontracted our marathon out to a different organization last year. We were going to try to turn it over, so that money wasn't through there.
So what was the projection of $6,000 last year?
Well, at the time I was running the marathon myself. Last year I tried to partner up with a group out of the Valley who does marathons, and I was hoping to turn the marathon over to full time. So we ran the money through them, so we didn't have the revenue through them. The money went to him directly. He paid for all the supplies and T-shirts and medals and things like that. And so that's why the revenue is not showing up through there because of that third party. But this year we're taking that money back. The partnership didn't work out. We're running the revenue through the city and not through that.
So were you anticipating there being a savings by doing that, or is that just
Well, logistically, so I can move on to another event. That's my point on trying to create events, get them going, turn them over to another organization once they're in. That just frees up my time to put towards something else.
And the goal is usually break even on those events. So,
Bring in,
so if she did go with the third party, they would take on the revenue, they would take on the expenses. Overall expense on our side would go down, but our revenues would go down.
so this $10,000 is taking in the $6,000 of you running the marathon and Wild West Day revenue?
And there's going to be a little bit of it in there too from
the Mud Run and the Route 66 Festival.
So there's little tiny revenues for all the other events that she goes to. That would be included.
So what do you have in actuals for? Well, you have 68, and that's for what, February?
Next through February.
What do you have for 20 or 15, 16 for actuals through February?
That's pretty cool. You hide stuff in there?
Yeah, I read this
100 years ago?
15, 16, actual was 157.
Through February?
I don't know when that would have been now. That's a timing thing. So I don't know if that would.
So that's just actual for the whole
Yeah,
year.
that could have been probably pretty close to the whole year.
And that's 15, 16 for how much?
Oh, no, that's, hold on, I got it.
15, 16 is down significantly from 14.
Yeah, 15, 16. Those numbers, I'll have to check those numbers. That doesn't seem right. That number might have been through February too. 15, 16.
Are we closer on other revenues?
Um, So the big hit on our other revenues would be the city sales tax, which we talked a little bit about on the last meeting. And again,
Now, how do you get projections on those?
well, same thing, I've gone through February, and then I'm just projecting it out through the rest of the year. Again, some of those same issues that we could have on the lodger's tax would still be in this number too. Because a lot of the when you fill out the lodger's tax numbers, it's 3% plus an additional 2 for lodgers. So if you're having problems on the additional 2%, a lot of those 3% returns are getting rejected too. So this could be an extremely low number as well, until we get this worked out with everybody accurate, getting accurate returns. And that's why I was trying to tell you guys that we were trying to do audits, and Pat and I are getting together, and we're going to start verifying last year's report to this year's report, and anybody that's has a huge discrepancy in it, we'll reach out to them and see if they are having those kind of problems, and if they are, we can address those.
So do we have any local accountants that do sales tax revenues for people?
I'm assuming, yeah, Nordstrom probably does some.
That's another thing, is to recommend, just get a pool of CPAs that do sales tax from the mountains here, everywhere, and say, here are people that can get your sales tax straight. The reality is, if these guys aren't filing, they're going to be in a huge amount of trouble. If it's this far into the year and they haven't done it, it's so hard to dig out of that hole, they may be out of business.
And I've had some, every month the report that I get, you see a lot of negatives where they received it in, the Department of Revenue will receive it in and then reject it. So that's another thing we can go and utilize that report and maybe find some of those.
And it could be just a matter of training these people.
Right. That's what I'm saying, we're trying to do that out.
Are you personally meeting with those people?
We have met with them. We've given them as many resources as we can. We physically have even gone back and found their codes that they need and worked with the Department of Revenue to try to get their reports corrected. So if it's just a consensus, because obviously these numbers are low, if it's your guys' goal to go back and try to make it as even as possible, or even just fund them how much they want to be funded, I guess, then we can move that way if you guys so choose. I know the Fair Board would want the 40. Historical Society is planning on 40, and then the Chambers, like I said, is planning on 31,240. And
30.
until I get better numbers,
No, I
guess
think-
we can just work those numbers in and then work backwards
Okay.
as we go, if that's what you guys want to do.
Yeah, we need accurate information before we can decide what we should do.
I'm looking at the change. The things on here that they're not gonna do anymore. I don't know if they go, or Kathleen, are you gonna do the festival of trees?
That was undecided. There was some disagreement amongst themselves. I know they have a meeting tomorrow to talk about it. I know one member wanted to keep it, one member didn't. So they haven't decided whether they were keeping that one or not.
It is in the budget.
It's the only thing, man.
But the actual festival itself, that day, they didn't want it.
And looking in their budget too, they're wanting to spend $7,000 on cultural dances. I think that's an extremely high number. I mean, I don't know. Seems like we used to do it for free and on tips. And now they're wanting $7,000 to do it.
It used to be tips only.
And I understand for the
Double down
dancers.
and follow on. We want to start that.
They did like cake sales and things like that to supplement it, and other taco sales to supplement it.
I understand that you're not making a whole lot of money as a dancer, and that can be frustrating, just on tips or whatever you want to call it, but
So you're expecting utilities to go down?
just through February, I was at 11,000, so we could put it at 11,500. But so far, what we've done, with the graciousness out of Jolene's heart, she has personally bought LED lighting for a lot of the courthouse, and we've gone through and replaced a lot of the old, they were actually the big bulbs, T12 lighting, and as those valves have gone out, Jolene bought a bunch of LED lights, and we replaced those, so it is in a downward trend for utilities, and so I do expect that to go down quite a bit. And again, I would really like to thank Jolene for that, because she spent it out of, as far as I know, her own money to pay for those, and we did the labor.
Wait, do you want to let Mike and Joanne make their presentation since they're here?
Yeah, go ahead and make the presentation. We'll start with Mike.
Thank you all for your, I have a calendar of events that's scheduled throughout the year.
As you can see, it's a very busy year. These are already items that are scheduled that we have commitments to at the fairgrounds. We've already had one of our bigger events. That was the Talani Lake roping that brought, this year was about 2,000 teams because it was their 25th annual. They had a truck roping on Sunday, went to 11 o'clock at night, kind of put a damper on the dance they had scheduled because the team roping was still going on. But that's one of our big events that we have each year, and they're already looking forward to coming back next year. Each weekend we have, like Shasta Company's a barrel race, Southwest Barrel Racing Association's barrel race. They always bring about 75 to 100 different racers. Now that's just participants. That doesn't include their kids or their husband or whatever. So these are all events that bring people to our community. Out of all these barrel racers, there's probably maybe 5 that live here in Holbrook. Majority of them come from the reservation, Shoals, St. John's, all over the area. So like I said, you go around town after one of these events, you look at Romo's parking lot, you look at El Rancho's parking lot, there's horse traders parking in the parking lot. Some of these events, we open our food booth maybe once a month. Majority of them, we don't, so they go out around town to eat dinner at. July 18th to the 21st, we have the Route 66 livestock camp. They already have 400 kids committed to that livestock camp. And then it increases on the weekend for the show. And so that brings 40 kids with their families. They camp, they rent hotels, and they stay in town throughout the week. So we have big events scheduled. Unfortunately, as you heard the assistant county manager and Paige talking earlier on the county cuts, rumor has it, and I haven't been told officially yet, that they are looking at cutting contributions 50%. If they cut the county's fairs contribution 50%, that doesn't even include our payroll for our event director for Jamie at the fairgrounds. If we're cut by the city of Holbrook, we'll probably be able to operate through the end of the year. After that, we'd have to turn the keys back to Navajo County. Whether they would keep the fairgrounds open or not, I can't answer for them. But as of now, we're working hard to make this year's fair a big success. Last year, I have some numbers here. Last year, to operate the fairgrounds from January through December of 2016 was $401,000. Now, we get contributions from the county. The $60,000 primarily goes to salary. We pay Jamie's salary, we hire part-time help going into the fair, and pay Jose some overtime leading up into the fair. The majority of that will take and pay utilities of that. The state gives us $60,000 from the governor's fund that has to go towards agricultural purposes and any improvements that we make on the side of agricultural. And then the city contribution we take towards help all the expenses. We don't pay like entertainment or anything like that out of the entertainment, or during the fair we use that towards any like hiring judges for junior livestock and help with like our utilities, everything else throughout the year. But that's what it costs to just keep that fairground open. Now I know as a councilman you might have your pet peeves or your pet projects and stuff, but as a citizen of Holbrook, I've lived here all my life and I've seen things just leave this town. Just leave this town. Nothing's really coming anymore, and it's kind of depressing. What do we have left? We have good people like Earl here that start the car club, and that is a success. And the fair board members are willing to participate and partner with the chamber and with the Route 66 Club to make things a success. But if we have to close this fairgrounds, what do we have left? You know, you have to, you see what we're bringing into this community. Yeah, the chamber's a good community deal that we need here. But are they bringing this many people into our community on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis? So you might have your pet projects and want to see, you know, the trail lights or whatever. However, you have to do what's best for the community and not what's best for your pet project, and that's what you guys are here for. Now, some people might say, well, it's just a county fair. The contribution just goes to put on a week event. But as you can see, it's not just a week event, and it's not just a county fair, and I'll use my kids as an example. My kids started at a young age, I'll get emotional here. They started as a rodeo queen. My little one was 8, my older one was 11. From there, they went to 4-H. They competed at local gymkhanas and 4-H events throughout the fair. My older one right now is going to graduate in May with your master's degree at University of Arizona in ag business and ag management, ag communications. From things I think I helped contributed to that, I'd like to think so anyway, but the fairgrounds and events that she participated in throughout her life, I think helped mold her into the person that she is. My younger one is going to animal science, and I think the same way, being involved in 4-H and being involved in events held at this fairgrounds, and I would hate to see us having to close it. I'm going to lobby as hard as I can to the county and the county manager and Mr. Whiting to keep our contribution, because I know this community cannot afford to see this fairground close. And unfortunately, if what I'm hearing is true, and we get again cut through the city funds, we're not going to be able to continue operating the way we're doing. That's my presentation. I hope I could sway you to continue funding at least at what you're doing. I would like to ask for more, but I know it's not possible. I know that the budgets are tight in each organization, but I will again ask you to continue contributing.
You swayed me.
Well, good. I'm glad.
So, kick it off.
But Oh, I'd be more than happy to. I'd like to report. But I did report to our board last Wednesday on possible cuts from the city and possible cuts from the county. And pretty much the consensus was if we can't operate, then we'll just have to turn the keys back. And we're all a volunteer board, just like the chamber, just like Julian and any other board here. We're all volunteers and we'd like to make these organizations a success and help them. Yes, sir.
They try and move the county fair to Sholo like they're trying to move everything else.
You know, that's been rumored for several years. Ever since I've been on the fair going on 11 years, and that's been rumored back then. However, the city of Sholo does have 100 and some odd acres set aside for fairgrounds. So I think if the opportunity arose at some time, that's very possible. But like I said, that's been rumored for several years. I would hate to see that, but you know, your opinion is kind of like my opinion. You see everything closing here, and because the population seems to be greater in the south.
Fortunately or unfortunately, I work for the county and I've seen things happen and I know what's going on and I've seen money wasted and I still see money being wasted. And I don't like it. And I don't like it because there's too many chiefs. You know, years ago, if you wanted to see Mr. Corey, you could find him in his office. You know, it seems like everything's going to the
Far off, schedule here, let's just, I just have one question. Yes, sir. So if you were to be funded, fully by the county as it is now, what would be the immediate effect of having less from the city?
Well, any cut hurts us. Because like I said, we have $401,000 to run this fairground. Majority of our funding comes from the city, from the county to keep it open, but we rely on sponsorships each year to put on the fair. We rent our facilities out to overnighters, to monthly boarders. Might have a number on that, but and if those sponsorships aren't guaranteed. Right now, we've been trying to go out and get sponsorships, and they're like, well, business is down right now, come back and see us in 2 months. So none of those sponsorships are guaranteed. So if we lose those type of fundings, any cut anywhere else is really going to hurt. And the governor's fund isn't guaranteed either every year. They vote on that every year. And we just kind of hope and pray that they continue. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Jolene, if it'd be easier to sit at the table up here, that'd be just fine. Okay,
I just have to keep scanning.
not a problem.
Don't it? It's a pedal that works okay. Anyway. I made a couple copies of some of the visitors' comments for you, just for your information. We visit with people in the hallway every day. Today we visited with a local resident's niece. She was here to see him, and we made her a Happy Holbrook official. We're giving out little stickers. It says, welcome to Holbrook, Happy Holbrook. I forgot what it said. April 2017. But anyway, we've got Happy all over the facilities and sharing it with our visitors. Last month in March, we had a total of 2,149 visitors that we tallied at the desk. They don't all sign in, about half of them sign in. We try to get them to sign the sheet, but they're, I don't know, they don't like to sign their name, I guess. But anyway, we do tally at the desk, and the tally is the official one. Last year, in March, we had 2,200. So we're down a little bit, but these past 2 years, it used to be like 600 for the month of March, and not, like in 2009 and 2010. So it's picked up. And we also find that some people, one lady says, we've been coming here for 6 years. Every time we go, wherever, there's snowbirds, and we always stop in Holbrook. So, we have a lot of repeat. We're on the map with a lot of people. The other thing I did want to point out was that in March, we paid out a total of $2,900 in salaries. We have one full-time person on the desk and a part-time person on the desk and a part-time person in the office. And the rest of us are volunteers. And I might add that Leanne Baker's on our board, she's here, she's a volunteer. Anyway, everything else, I've given you background. If you have some questions, I'll answer if I can. I just wanted to point out that last month was very good. And we're all happy.
Same question, what would be the immediate impact of having less money?
Pardon me?
What would be the immediate impact?
Oh, well, to begin with, we $12,000 more this year. We had to redo our budget because of the minimum wage. January 1, we started paying the minimum wage, like the law says. So, I don't have any figures, but we did put out $2,900 just on wages last month, and that was the bulk of the. If I can find my book here. What else did we spend last month? We bought ink and paper. That was $300, $371. Last month, our expenditures were $45.96, and our revenues was $6,787. We did well. That's just a month, you know. So come July, you know, we. I don't know how to explain. I'm not a budget person. I just drew this up.
But from my looks, if I may, it looks like most of their 40,000
Goes to the wages.
goes right to wages. So I don't want to speak for Jolene, but a cut would just mean that some wages would have to go down, and then we wouldn't have the courthouse open as many hours. We'd have to probably cut those hours down.
Well, we do. Most weekends are pretty busy. We have slow times, but you never know what's going to be slow. So we're open 7 days a week, 8 to 5. And some Sundays, like they had 75 or 80 people, not too long on a Sunday. That's a lot of people. And, you know, the big thing is when the people walk in the door, the first thing they hear is, "Welcome to Holbrook." And if the staff's not doing that, we remind them that they need to do that. Because maybe they stopped and got gas, or maybe they just stopped at us, you know. Maybe they went and had lunch somewhere. But anyway, we want the impression is, you know, Holbrook is, you're welcome to Holbrook. We're nice people. We're here to help you. If you need a map, and a lot of people will take time and go through the museum. They'll look in the one room and they'll think, oh, and they stay an hour. You know, maybe they were going to stay 15 minutes. But anyway, we're an asset to the community because we're an official visitor center. We're there, and we better be on our toes. Any other questions besides budget? Thank you, Randy. I'm not very good at answering budget questions.
Anybody have any questions? I just have a comment. I think that Randy, you want to know what my thoughts are. I think they convinced me. We're going to put the chamber. So you do what you got. Those are 40, 40, 21, or whatever you got.
So as you guys were saying, I was making some changes as they were talking. I started looking through some of Yvonne's things, and seems like we should be able to cut some money out of Yvonne's budget. I'll have to talk to her tomorrow since she isn't here to represent herself. But just by looking at some of these numbers, it seems like we could back into this a little bit easier, and we keep it 40-40 and then drop it down to 25 for the Historical Society. And this did cut all of Kathleen's budget, so we'll have to put her money somewhere, probably in admin somewhere, and that way we can control the revenues as they come in. If the numbers are higher, then we can increase these numbers as we go along through the budget process. But as it stands right now, and hearing everyone talk, it seems like these numbers would be good to base them off of, and then you know, the easy thing with Kathleen is we always like a big number for Kathleen, but she very rarely hits that big number. And Kathleen's very, very money conscious, so we're always talking about cheap ways of doing things. So I think this would be all right to be able to try to move in this direction. And, you know, as I said, if the numbers improve, the more people I work with, then we can rehash these numbers out. And I'll make sure I talk to you more tomorrow.
I had one thing I did mention is that relocation, people will call and want relocation packets, and our staff puts them together, and then we've been mailing them, so we can help that way. And then also, in our PR, we have stick pins and magnets and so on. Kathleen needs handouts, or Earl needs handouts. We're able to share that.
I'd like sending people down.
Oh, thank you, appreciate it. And then we have little slips of paper we put around town in motels that inviting people to stop by. So, thank you.
Would you present for the chamber, please? The
So-
statement that you have.
Sure. So, I'm just going off of your bond statement here. So, they're asking the $31,240. Director salary would be $16,500. QuickBooks $250. Membership dues $300. Travel, networking, and meals $1,200. That seems kind of high to me.
Membership fees, what? Oh, that's the city paid membership fees?
Yeah, these are just their expenses that would come up with this 31,000.
Yeah, is that what they pay to go on to the national organization?
Oh, the membership fees, I don't know what that 300 is. I'm assuming that's what it would be.
We have 22 members and $1,010 right now.
So she has $1,200 for travel, networking, and meals. I think she would be able to cut there. Accounting services, $1,800. Computer tech and antivirus, $200. Website maintenance, $500. Office supplies, $250. Postage, $250. Mixer, advertising, promotions, chamber decals, frames, etc., $500. Advertising, $1,000. Insurance, special events, $2,400. I'm willing to bet that's kind of high. If they're not going to have, you know, the Wild West Day, so I'll talk to her about that. Insurance, business owner's policy. Wi-Fi device, $240. And then she has events expenses. So there's open house, $150. Mixers, $1,200. And then she has $2,000 for Wild West Days, Route 66, Navajo County Fair, and Spring Fling boothing. You know, if she's going to be a part, if it's for booths for those kind of events, I think the city would just take that on. I don't know why they would have an expense for Wild West Days if they're going to do something. Seems like we'd be able to just waive their booth fee or whatever they want to do. So I think that $2,000 amount there is probably too high, and I don't know what the airport charges.
For a booth, I don't think we charge. I know they purchased an arena sign last year in the arena.
That might be some kind of advertising. So I think
Well, we could do trade out. I mean,
yeah, I think a lot of these things Kathleen helps with anyway. So I think if we work with the chamber a little bit better, I'll call you Yvonne on some of these, and we'll try to get those numbers down. Taste of Holbrook, $500. Festival of Trees is $500. And there again, they don't know if they're going to do it or not. So if they truly decide they're going to do it, then that's $500. Kathleen says it's probably for the Catholic, renting the Catholic Center. Light Up Holbrook, I think that's a new event they just started. And then cultural dancing. They have $7,200 in there. I don't know what that's for, but, I just did it. If they did $10 an hour for 15 people, 9 weeks at $10 an hour, which would be minimum wage, would be about $2,700. So, you know, I don't know what that 7,200 entails, but I think there could be some savings there.
What is it for?
That's for the Indian dances, the Mexican dances.
Does the minimum wage apply to children that are dancing?
No, it's sure, but there's adults there
They
too.
do
so.
what's called a, not costume fee, but a regalia fee, well, because they've got the Mexican things like that, the dancers as well, it's a little bit different arrangement. So they don't pay like a per hour, they give an allowance.
Well, you
Uniform
can't hire
allowance kind of
anybody
thing.
under the age of 14 unless it's you own the business and they're your child.
I'm assuming this is to hire somebody to manage that over there. So I don't know, I'll talk to Yvonne about that tomorrow, see if we can't get that number down. But
What
just,
money went for?
just with the cultural dancing and Wild West days, which I think most of those fees, we could save pretty close to 6,000, and that gets us to that 25 folks. So I'll work with Yvonne a little bit tomorrow, and like I said, travel, mileage, insurance on special events, I don't know, but maybe those numbers could come down too.
What's the big thing? The Chamber of Commerce has name brand recognition because they're Chamber of Commerce. And so when people call a city or town, they don't necessarily call the city or town for information, they'll call the Chamber of Commerce. And so those are the things that we want to make sure happens, is that if people call, a phone call gets returned, that a packet gets mailed out, those are the things that are important, and those are the expenses I would like to see captured. That, you know, if the events, they can't get the events all done, so we cut the budget so much, then we can step in and help out on those. But as far as the value of the Chamber of Commerce, the value is that national recognition, that's where you go to get information about whatever place it is that you're doing Chamber of Commerce stuff. So when I look at the Chamber of Commerce, that's where I see the value. My thing I don't like about the Chambers of Commerce over the years is that they've become less funded by commerce and more funded by government. So you have a government-funded organization that lobbies the government for business purposes. I don't like it. But as far as this particular purpose and just their name brand recognition, they are an asset. And that's the value that I want to capture with the Chamber of Commerce. As far as events go, probably in the past it was the Lions Club or somebody else put on lots of these types of events, and not the Chamber of Commerce. They've just slowly taken that stuff over and asked for the city for money, and I'm sure that's every city everywhere. But there is a value, and that's what we're going to with budgets tight, is we capture the value that they provide, and we go after that value. And when you look at the Navajo County Fairs and the number of people that they serve and bring into the community every month, then we have to look at our events real hard and say, are we doing something similar? Is there a value in Kathleen that we'd rather be spending her time and money on? Because every event just sucks up 40 hours a week for a month or two to put this together, and we get 200 people. Is that a value that we're looking for, when maybe her time really is better spent at going to that conference and making connections about broadband communication? Because that's our biggest issue, is that we're losing her pressing the flesh. We don't know if there's anybody looking for a small town location like this. So it may be less expensive with a bigger bang for the buck to change her role, reduce the amount of events that we do.
Yeah, I met with Kathleen, and we've kind of steered some of those towards economic development, and she takes a value in each one of those events. And we've kind of gone along with the idea of if the event is that important, then one, it'll be self-sustaining, and if we don't do it, then somebody's probably going to jump on board and try to do it. If there's that much value in something that Kathleen does, then it's going to go. And so a lot of those things, like I was talking about earlier, Kathleen does a lot of things pretty cheap, and we don't make any money off of them. They're break even kind of things. And so as she does some of these events, she kind of does a tally at the end and tries to decide if it's worth going forward with it or not, or trying to divide it per time between that and economic development. So she has been working on some of those the network things on broadband in her spare time with the events and stuff. That's what I feel pretty confident in Kathleen and what she does. And some of those events we don't have a good turnout, and she'll come back the next day. I ain't doing this next year. That's pretty up to her. If she realizes there isn't a good value in it, then she'll know right off the bat, almost every time.
And I also need to say one thing about the county projects that you reminded me of when if you don't believe that what they're doing is any value, then go look at some of the restaurants. You always see these horse traders, and like you said about all these different places. It's kind of interesting how many people come in. That's quite a value.
Okay, what else? We've kind of gone over this. We need a little more information from you on the revenue.
So if you guys are comfortable with it, we'll leave it as that until I try to get some better numbers on the revenues.
40-40-25.
What's that?
40-40-25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I
Well,
said,
maybe you can get the 25 a little bit more. Give that a little bit more to Kathleen. I think the one I saw was she needed to cut it down to 21 or something.
yeah, I actually cut it off to make it balance. So, if depending on what the numbers look, we'll move this direction, and then hopefully the numbers read down, and we'll be able to balance out as we go, and as we get closer to balancing the budget. But I don't want to cut the chamber too much up until I need to talk to Yvonne on it.
Not comfortable with 40-40-20.
And then, so I will give you guys, I'll resend this to you guys tomorrow in an email format. And it'll have all these numbers updated, and as well as some of the other changes we did, like I put in the property tax number that we talked about last time. And I cut some other things along the way in personnel. And so as of right now, this budget would not include any freezes in positions at all. So we'd be able to, and that includes the police, so that's fully funding the chief, and as well as the library and the golf course. So I'll give you guys that update, and this is the big number right here that I always look at is the revenue versus the expenses. And as you can see, they're all zeros. So this budget continues to balance as we go. But that's all I have for tonight. And then, like I said, I'll give you guys an updated email tomorrow. And then if you guys want to do another work session next meeting, we can do some quick things, detail, or we could just keep it open-ended as you guys have questions and go forward with that. Or we could just keep it on the regular agenda item, and then we can ask questions as we go.
Like we did last year, under old business.
What's that?
like we've done in years past under old
You
business?
guys just wanna keep it on the agenda
Yes.
for, okay, we'll use it as that, and we'll try to put it towards the end. That way, if you guys do have any more detail or any questions, then I can work through them. And if you guys have questions, please come see me and you know, this spreadsheet is extremely huge and there's a lot of calculations in it. So, you know, who's to say some of my calculations not matching up? And if you guys see anything like that, please let me know. We'll get it. I do a balance everywhere, every time I do this, both on the screen and manually print it out on a calculator to make sure they all balance and my numbers work. But you know, I didn't know, just to make sure that we're still on pace. That's all I have. Thank you guys.
What are you anticipating for health insurance? Is that
Health insurance? Let me go to the tab there on that. So health insurance is actually projecting to go up from employee only from $476 to $498, and family from $1,096. Let me get there to $1,145 per individual. Dental's going to go up from $50.99 to $51.86 for the family, and all the other family vision goes up from $594 to $647. I did the calculations, and it seemed like it was only I can't remember. It was only like $3,500 or $4,000 for the whole year for everybody. So in this budget, I included the city to eat those increases.
Yeah, out administration.
What?
I'm looking at administration.
For salaries?
Yeah. I see a reduction of $167,751. And where is that money going to? Where's it coming out of?
So what we did is I took 50% of Mike's salary to her, and 50% of my 50% of my salary to her, and then that goes away with Ray's salary.
But it's still an increase of $33,000.
An increase?
You got that $167,751. I assume that's coming out of.
That's a decrease. So that's by
I understand that, but where is that coming out of her?
Yeah, so 50% of Mike's and 50% of mine is going to her, and then that's 100% of Ray's.
So that whole amount of $167,751 is coming out of her?
No.
How much is coming out of
50%
her?
of Mike's and 50% of mine is going to her, and so that's a little bit of.
What's that dollar figure?
The rest of that is the savings from Ray's salary.
What's the dollar figure increase to her? Labor.
So that increases her $82,699. In salary. So, you know, in years past, what we've done is we've kept our salaries in general fund, even though we could have charged them to her because we were doing a transfer. Now, the last couple of years, we did away with that transfer. The general fund is no longer paying for that. So any streets that me and Mike help on, instead of doing a transfer, we're just taking our salaries out. And that allows us to do $166,000 worth of materials, mainly concrete, but that would give us another 5 blocks of roads, or allows us to buy bunch of patching.
So it's, so yours and Mike's
Just 50% of me
and Cher's salary is total of $223,263.
I'm not. Part of Pat should be an admin, right? You have him all in utility.
No, it's only 140. So like shares, 50% of mine and 50% of that is 140.
Well, it's 140. I did that. Plus, how much are you taking out of salary? Can't come out of both.
No, come 50%.
So $140,000 is coming out of admin for salaries for Mike, Randy, Cher, and then you and Mike increase her salaries by $82,699. Or are there other increases in salaries in there?
Well, Randy's salary is 113.
I understand that.
So if you add them up, probably you said what?
$223, 263.
Well, I don't know what Mike gets paid. Probably, because just mine and Randy's is about 180.
So who's in this?
Ray would have been.
$308,415.
That would have been me, Ray,
Me.
Cher, Kathleen.
Kathleen's in that?
Kathleen was in that year.
Oh, she
I
comes out
believe
now.
she comes out of Parks. She's in Parks now. Maybe it wasn't Kathleen. I don't know.
Well, Vicky would have part of that, right?
I don't know. I'd have
Vicky
to-
or Pat.
I'd have to. Well,
Isn't that on one of them other pages?
Hold on.
You have a page with all that. Book out everybody's salary.
What year was that?
It's all at the back of the budget, right? Because Vicky retired in,
Oh yeah, Vicky.
yeah, Vicky retired in December, so she'd have been,
December of what year?
hasn't been a year, has it?
I thought it was 15.
So
Has it really been a
oh,
year?
it was Oscar. So it covered Ray, Mike, Oscar, me, and Cher.
Oscar.
Chart is.
Oscar Charles.
What was he in admin for?
Only half of him, it says. Only half of Oscar.
Oh, because we took on to decrease the utility fund. We took Oscar over, and he was going to be a meter reader. So admin took on meter reading. So he worked half time admin meter reading, and he saved those costs in the utility fund.
So that bought you what? The utility fund wouldn't balance?
Did balance the utility fund that year. And Oscar was going to do, what did he do? Oh yeah, because
He
Oscar
did,
was still in utility.
but he was doing stuff back here. He did some general fund work, about half general fund.
Are you getting a cut on Parks and Rec? Who's coming out of that? For
Well, what I, so, what are you saying, cut? So I moved Michael Dell out to the golf course, and we hired Earl. So that's what the increase in that is, and the decrease is down in contract services with Mike, because he's not smart.
Well, I see 11,520 is for swimming pool.
So what that's gonna be, in years past, we hired at least one temp, maybe sometimes two temps for John for the parks, because once he starts mowing, he's busy, he can't turn himself away. Well, that's why we hired Earl full-time to get away from those temps. So what those temps will be now is mainly, pool people. So it will, what did we say? So they'll hire 9 lifeguards at $10 an hour for 9 weeks.
Or 10 weeks. I don't remember. I gave it to you.
It'll allow us to, and last year as well, we hired a pool manager. And this year, John and Cher decided to take on more tasks over there, to have that adult presence a little bit more. And so that saves us a little bit more too, instead of hiring a full manager. John and Cher are going to be involved with that.
How is the golf course funded?
Golf course is funded through the general fund. So if you look, golf course, projecting to have 183,000 in expenses, and revenues, golf course revenues are projected at 25. There's going to be, since I've reached out to the Men's Association out there, and they have some recommendations to change the cart situation that we have. So in the next, we posted it on our website, and then the next meeting or two, we will have probably some rate changes that might help our golf course revenues. And it came from the Men's Association, so
We don't transfer money from wastewater anymore to golf course?
we did away from those transfers to try to keep it cleaner, because all those were questions. We just got rid of the questions.
Under contract services,
For who?
the golf course.
Oh, yeah, it's not there.
Mike's not there.
Yeah, so what I'm planning on doing is actually hire, Larson and Bob are planning on retiring in October. So if and when that happens, we'll be bringing on Mike as a temp. And it'll only be for summer months. So I don't plan on hiring the guy during the winter months. Steve may need some help during the winter months as far as mechanic work. But I think we need to rely on John and Marcus a little bit more in that regard. And John Hurwitz and Marcus should be able to take on some of that burden. So this will allow me to hire temps for the summer months when they're heavy mowing. And at the same time of that, I plan, Guttery has planned on letting Earl go out there on Wednesdays to help mow. So we're kind of switching Steve. We get Steve to help spray weeds, and the heavy mow days are Monday and Tuesday for John, and then Earl will go out there on Wednesdays, help Steve mow, and bounce back and forth a little bit. So Earl's kind of a floater in that regard. But hopefully between the mowing and all that, we should be able to get it.
So how are you, those guys for sure retiring?
Well, they haven't put the papers in, but they both said they're gonna retire. So.
Better put Mike's salary in there.
Well, unless I have something else to go out, but, you know, that's what I'm planning on doing.
So they said they're retiring?
LJ retired once before and then he came back.
LJ's already retired and he's not working.
See, he'll have 40 years in October. Cause he's, yeah.
So I'm going on the assumption in this case.
I don't know. Bob is old.
And this does include some salary to pay out their vacation too. So if they don't, then I'm gonna have to come back and change these numbers. Or we'll have to figure it out if that happens. You know, that's just one of those things we'll have to.
Yeah, you're gonna come up with money somewhere.
Yeah, we'll have to cut somewhere.
Well, trust those guys, let's find out. If not, then
Well, they both told me
let
they
somebody
will.
go.
They both told me they are, so that's why I'm assuming
That's how we file the papers then. Other than that, we don't really have $35,000 savings. How many kids are you talking about, Harold?
Well, this would be,
One.
1 or 2 guys, 2 people.
$9,000. But that's $900 or 900 hours.
So that's like 11 weeks. Well, wait, $900. About the same amount of time as the pool, huh? $10 an hour.
Yeah, that's a lot. You have your taxes.
So I have a question, maybe a comment, but not a question. You know, pretty gloomy report from the county, and this is kind of gloomy stuff, not to have a lot of money, but as I follow, seems like the lead indicators for the economy, and you might get out these doldrums we've been in the last 8 years, lead indicators look good, so if we collect back to the level it's been, as far as taxes and lodgers and so forth, we can't spend it unless we somehow have it in the budget. So I think in the past we've had contingency funds that we could distribute if we actually collect the money.
Yeah, so that's what I have in admin. I have contingency revenue of 500,000, and in the general fund for revenues, I have the offsetting 500,000, just in case revenues do bounce back.
So if we were to collect up to $500,000 in additional taxes, we'd be able to spend it this year.
Yeah.
You guys have any other questions?
You know.
Okay. I'll adjourn this meeting and I'll talk to Randy myself. So, now,